God sees that you have done nothing against Him, and you have done nothing that you're suffering from, and would help you by sharing His vision with you to see the truth, so that the truth might set you free from your ignorance. Again, yet this can be corrected, and God will help you, knowing that you could not sin against Him. You denied Him because you loved Him, knowing that if you recognized your love for Him, you could not deny Him. Interesting or confusing? It's interesting. You never stop being the Christ. And so your nature is such that it's impossible for you to stop loving God. It's impossible for you to stop loving God with a passion. You might almost say with a compulsion. Why do you think you hold on to your personal concepts and definitions so strongly, if indeed those constitute a defense against the experience of God? Because they seem to give you your identity at your own hand, and you become your own creator. And that is egotistically satisfying. And you do this with vigor because you, underneath all of this effort, have an undying love of your Father, of your source. And if you did not busy yourself with great intensity at securing your identity on your own, you would find yourself sucked home to the Father because your love is so great for Him. And that would be the end of this so-called independent, autonomous, authoritative, successful you. You denied Him, God, because you loved Him, knowing that if you recognized your love for Him, you could not deny Him, and I'm going to add, and you would quickly abandon all of your definitions and all of this self that you have tried to build up and succeed at making whole and real in its own right. Continuing, your denial of Him, therefore, means that you love Him. And that you know He loves you. Don't make little frowns of quizzical curiosity and disbelief. Remember, you're neither advancing, you are neither behind the point of perfection nor advancing toward it. You are at that point, and you must understand yourself therefrom. And these words are talking to you from that point of perfection that you're already at. You do love Him, and you do know He loves you. And your vigorous denial of Him, meaning your vigorous commitment to all of the definitions you have made up, prove by reversal that you do know that you love God and that He loves you. And you can't afford to look at that, because at the moment it's still more important to you to make an independent mark in the world? No, in creation. That's what you're after. If you're not yielding to God, you're attempting to become equal to Him. Continuing, remember that what you deny, you must have known. And if you have denied it so successfully that you don't remember what it is you're denying, because you've given your preference to the definition you're denying God with, it doesn't change the fact that you know God and knew God and knew the real meaning. Your denial of Him, therefore, means that you love Him and that you know He loves you. Remember that what you deny, you must have known. And if you accept denial, you can accept its undoing. Your Father has not denied you. He does not retaliate, but He does call to you to return. And let's bring this home a little bit more. God out there is not calling you home. Your right mind is calling you back into your right mind. Got it? Because you can't have successfully become a split mind, an unintegrated mind, a non-singular conscious experience of being. It's impossible for you to have become that, even though with great, you might say, mentally coercive energy, you have been able to create a stretch and a twist in the fabric of conscious awareness so that things look different, and you can say, there, I made it look like that, and that is what it's going to be. I am going to maintain it as that, come hell or high water. But all you've done is skewed your perception. You haven't changed what you are, and you haven't changed what reality is. Your Father has not denied you. He does not retaliate, but He does call to you to return. Again, your right mind calls to you to come back into your right mind. When you think He has not answered your call, you have not answered His. He calls to you from every part of the sonship because of His love for His Son. His love for you is as uninterruptible as a parent's love for his or her child. It's just there. Always. Continuing, if you hear His message, He has answered you, and you will learn of Him if you hear aright. If you hear His message. Well, where are you going to hear His message from? The guy sitting next to you. The chair you're sitting on. The tree growing outside your door. The sunset. Right here, right now, this life. Continuing. The love of God is in everything He created. For His Son is everywhere. Look with peace upon your brothers. And God will come rushing into your heart in gratitude for your gift to Him. A short while back, I shared with you that your attention is God's treasure. When you give God your attention, He treasures it. And will come rushing into your heart in gratitude for your gift of your attention to Him. If you're not looking at anything you see with a desire to see God there, you are, by the unwise use of your mind, demonstrating that you're giving preference to what you think that thing is. And what you think that thing is stands between you and what it is, between you and what God is right there. And so that constitutes a denial of God. And that's all that constitutes the denial of God. The unfortunate or fortunate thing is that as a result of doing that, you unavoidably experience depression, fear, and you develop a commitment to cope with it, the depression and the fear, instead of abandoning the unwise use of your mind that's causing you to hear, no, you can't do this. It isn't, no, you can't do this. I am not going to let you do this. God doesn't stand against you and against what you're trying to do. God knows the nature of being, knows the way things work, knows that you can't do what you can't do. And so it just simply says, you can't do this. There's no way to do it. You can try till you're blue in the face. But sooner or later you're going to find out you can't do it. I'll save you a little time by telling you, you can't do this. It just won't work. See, there's no anger there. God doesn't provide resistance against your success. God simply says, you can't do what you're trying to do. It won't work. You know, waking up, this whole thing we're talking about, just isn't a religious thing. It isn't a spiritual thing. It's a very practical, down to heaven awareness of how things work, so that you don't waste your time doing what doesn't work, and so that you stop behaving as though you're something you cannot be, and so that you will start right where you are to look at everything you're already experiencing with a willingness to see it with new eyes, with new vision innocent of anything you would insert between you as the beholder and what you want to behold. And every moment of every day provides you with this opportunity without getting holy about it or too spiritual. It's a feet on the ground process. It's a feet on the ground of being with a capital B. Remember that when we're talking about the illusion and the ego with all seriousness, and we talk about all the awful things with such great clarity, it isn't so that you can become frightened about it. It's so that you might, with all the clarity you have about it, be able to stand there and say, oh, all of this serious, complex stuff doesn't exist. God didn't create it. I created it with my imagination, and what I've created doesn't constitute a creation because it couldn't undo God. God hasn't been undone. What I thought I did, I didn't. That's why you receive, apparently, God's love by grace. And that's why you receive healing, apparently, by grace. Because there's nothing for you to be forgiven for. Because you couldn't do what you couldn't do, and therefore you didn't. And it was never done. And you don't have to find complicated ways to extricate yourself from something that never happened. You will wake up by grace. And you're going to wake up here. And you're going to wake up as close to now as you're able to let yourself, by not making the process more complicated than it is with this wonderful imagination and apparent capacity to make definitions. I love you all. And I trust all of this is beginning to become even more meaningful than it has before. And that it may be beginning to dawn upon you that waking up is less complex than the imaginative effort you had to go through to make the dream you're waking up from. Okay. I look forward to being with you next week.